ENG here, and today I'm going to show you how to deploy an application in Cuemby platform. So I built this very small and simple API that connects to another API on the weather section and extracts some information about the city, and it will show you when you support. So to do that in the Cuemby Cloud platform, you can go to the main website, and then once you create your account and create your own organization like I have here, then you can create multiple projects. I already have one project created, it's empty, but before we do anything, we have to go into the menu application and then go to the Git provider and connect with the host provider. In this case, I already connected my personal repository, so I should be fine. But once we do that, we can go back to the home page, and then here we should be able to start deploying an application. So I'm going to use this one button here called Run Application, which is going to walk me through a set of steps I'm going to follow to deploy an application. I click that. First, I need an application. The application is kind of like a template in a way that you can reuse in multiple deployments. So as you can see, I don't have any, so I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to call it API, and then I'm going to pick my integration called mirrors. That's going to be linked to me. There you go. I'm going to pick where's the repository of the application. I'm going to find the weather app. How do I want to be this application to run? Do I want to have external access to the application, or do I want to just keep it internal within my own project? In this case, I do want to close this API, so I'm going to have external. Then here I can add a set of variables that I can add. In this case, my application will run in 8080. Then I'm going to add another um, environment variable, which is going to call open API key, so I can connect to the other service. And I'm going to grab right here, I have my API key, which I'm going to encrypt so you can protect your environment variables that are sensitive. The next step is that I need to pick how I want this instance to run. Do I want it to be small, medium, large? And you can see there's some specs here. I'm going to pick small, which is the default one. And then there's some information here that you can set to your own likes. For example, how long you want to start to wait until the application scales and how it's going to work. You can set your own settings. These one are pretty much a good defaults if you don't want to get into that. And here I'm going to say, hey, go to pre-replicas if you see that you need more demand. So I'm setting the minimum and the maximum. I'm going to click next. The next step is I need to deploy it to an environment. Once again, I don't have an environment. This is a brand new project, so I'm going to create a new one, and I'm going to call it first development. I want to make sure that first I deploy to development before I go to production. Go ahead and make it next. And the last step is, okay, now let's deploy. A runtime is an actual instance of an application running. In this case, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick a branch that I want to run in this case. I'm going to pick name, just do name, and then how am I going to check the health of the application? I'm going to do it via TCP, and it will know what to do. Last step, I'm just going to hit create, and we're just going to wait a few minutes, and we're going to have our application running. While this is running, CCP, what it's doing here is doing all the set of steps that any pipeline, common pipeline requires to basically grab your application from the GitHub repository. It's going to build it based on the Docker configuration that you have in the repository, which I'm going to show you in a second. And then it's going to start doing a set of check-ins to make sure that at least we have the basic security measures that is required. As you can see here, I'm now populating a timeline that is going to be telling you where step and in which step we are at any given time. So we also can go here and check what's going on behind the scenes. We can check some metrics. Of course, it's a brand new application, so it's not running yet, so we don't have any metrics. But we can check some logs once they are available, and then here in the pipeline, you can see that we're basically going step by step. We already cloned the repository. Here it's going to build the repository. Then we can know once the repository is built as an image, we can see that it's going to run some steps. What this is doing, which is going to take about 2 minutes. I'm going to show you real quick the application that I'm going to be running. It is basically very basic Go application. So as you can see, I'm just going to have few endpoints. You're going to have the ready endpoint, you're going to have the root endpoint, live, and then here's the endpoint that we're going to use to get the city name and what is the weather in that city. So that is very simple. Just one more time to show you something that before I forget. Here is the Docker file. The Docker file is what the Cuemby Cloud Platform is expecting to have in order to run an application. This is very common in the industry. So once you have your Docker file, you should be good to go. Let's go back to the application and check where it's at. So it's not logged yet, so it's still doing the pipeline running. As you can see here, it's trying to finish the steps. So let's just give it a second, and we should be fine. While this is building, actually, I'm going to show you around a little bit of the platform. So you have here all the options that you can invite users. You can set up your own roles. You can also, of course, change your own profile. That's pretty much uh, something common that any of our team has. Let's go back to the home menu, and then here we can go now to application, and we're going to click on application, for example. As you can see here, this is the application that we just defined with all the information that we have. You can see all your environments. Right now we only have one, and you can see the runtime. So the runtime and the instance of the application running. This is double check now. So it's super. It's basically it's just all the steps required in the pipelines are done. I check the logs. It says that the weather API running service is the weather API service running on the port 88. This is pretty cool. That means that it's running. There's one more step though. The way that we deploy every application, it already have all the certificate requires in order to work. So basically, we already securing every application that we deploy. With that, we generate some certificates, which is why it's still in pending state, even though that the pipeline is done. Why? It's because the certificate is being populated. So we can check that out in this way. So if I click here, you can see it says it works. And now if you see, we already have a secure connection because we're using behind the scenes Cloudflare. There you go. So it works. So now the final test is to the WC equals, let's say in the city that I am right now, or Beach. Right, so well, 21 Celsius. I'm using the Celsius measure, so we're good. Let's do one more check. Let's see how Berlin is doing right now. Nice, ooh, it's a little cold. And last but not least, let's do Madrid. And well, there's also a little bit of chilling. So that's the demo that I have for today. I hope that you liked it, and you can see that basically in less than 5 minutes we have an application running on the platform. Thank you.